Happy morning, guys. So this is part two, isn't it? So if you're not watching part one, kindly please watch the part one. This setup we did last class, isn't it? So we are going to move to the next one. It's called a photometric. From the standard, we are going to photometric. First, I am going to save as this project, light 2. Okay, because of last one which we saved, it's already saved. So whatever the changes we did over here is going to be saved as a second version. Okay. So different is in a photometric light. Okay, I go for a free light. Yes. So click here. You can see this is a free light. And from the top view, I'm placing just 45 degrees in front of the front view. So position of the light, it's very important. Now I go to the next off view. From the light, you can see here and the darkness here. F10 for the render settings. Just change your light to arc light. A ray tracing, Autodesk ray trace render. In a render settings, if you change your material editor, go to the material editor. Here, this is the last one which we did. And you can see here the number of materials which we have. Once you change the art render, you can see material library is add on. So your materials will change according to the render engine. So if you go for a Arnold, the render engine will change. If you go for a V-Ray, the render engine will change. According to the render engine, the materials will change. In art render, we have a few things, but I'm not going to assign any material. It's the existing material. Now we are going to render this. Now I can see the light comes here, but this area is not dark. So this is the first thing you have to remember. The ray trace automatically bounce the light. The bounce light, you can see very closely, this area, we have some light emission from the ground. So here, I'm not creating any fill light, but automatically the light is falling over here because of the, yes, bounce light. Okay, why it is yellow? Yes, the light will emit the color of the wall that you know already. So if you emit the light to the green color, the light hit and emit as a greenish. That's why when the sun is yellow in evening time, all the bounce light will reflect that color. Okay, now you can see one light and then the light intensity here. Now to change the light settings, you have to go to the modify tab. We have many options here. The first one is a templates. In this one, we can able to adjust the light, how it should react. So we have a 75 watts bulb or 100 watts bulb. Once you click it and render, see the 100-watt bulbs, which change the intensity and color, and then decays. The decay is very less. That's why the bounciness is not, the light is not traveling far, so it cannot able to hit in the wall. So we can change the templates. Suppose I need a halogen bulb of 100 watts. It's totally changed, isn't it? The render settings, hot render is there. Remember, it should not be in a scan line render. We have to change to the art render to see this one. Still, it's taking time to render. You can see this current tab. Now, yes, it's hit over here. After this, 235 watts, 50 watts, 100 watts. And then you can change these things. That's why the 400 watts, it's too harsh. So it should not be closer to the ground because you can see the burners, right? So change your templates. If you're happy with your templates, it's okay, it's fine. Otherwise, we have to change manually. Now, I just go back to this bulb and then it's okay. And then cancel in between, close this, top view, and duplicate this light. This is for a 3-point light purpose. Now, go to the photometric light, free light, it's fine. Go to the target light. In the left view, target light, you can place it in perspective, or again the top view, you can move your light. In the settings, you can change things. But this time I'm not going to do anything with the templates. I'm directly go to the intensity color attribute and I want to change things. So daylight fluorescent and the color is beige color. Okay. Now I'm moving on the perspective, so it's updating according to the movement of my camera. The camera it's a perspective. Instead of this, I want to create a camera. Go to this one. Next to the bulb, over here you can see light and camera. This one can go for a 2 options, standard camera. I want a target camera, and then from the top view, 45-degree, I'm placing this. Okay. So the camera is under the ground. So the camera, you have to change it towards the space. Now press C for camera. Now I can see what it is actually. You have to press C for cat, and then P for perspective. Now I'm pressing P to move, and then C to go back to the camera. But the camera is not showing what we need to see. So that this camera has 2 options. One is camera, another is camera target. The camera target has to be move and place. Okay, we placed well, but still I'm not sure whether we are hitting the exact frame what we need. So what I need is I need to see the camera, also need to see the view of the camera. So go to this arrow to change your viewport into 2. So we got 2 views here. So press the left view, press C, and then right view, press P. Change everything to the default shading mode. Default shading mode. In a perspective, of course, I can change and rotate. In camera, we stick with the camera. But when you render, you can see what you're seeing over here. So close this, camera, show, save frame, and this is the frame we need. But this frame is not satisfied. So select the target, go to the top view, move it, and move your camera a little bit back. If you rotate your camera, you can change the angle because the target is stick. So this is the movement of the camera, and left side, what you're seeing is the output. Fix the camera according to your need. Now we are going to change the lens. To change anything, you have to go to the Modify tab and select the camera. Here, the first thing is lenses. So you can go for a 15 mm, 25 mm. It's all tele. Go for 50 mm, it's a normal lens. Okay, I think it's fine. Now, go to the F10. You can see the render is art render. What to render? Click here and click on the camera. Then press render. It is a perspective render. Now, this is the camera render. You place the lights in perspective and render in a camera view. How to go to the camera view? What is the shortcut? C. When you press P, you can see top over here. Okay, perspective here. Then press C to the camera. It's a camera 1. Now, say an example, if I place another camera, then again the target camera, you can see from the top view, all W maximize, all W minimize. This is a camera 1. So I'm placing camera 2 here. I'm not locating in a proper way. It's fine. Over here, we press C, we can see that it's jumped into a camera. But if you're not selecting anything, it will ask you when you are pressing C, camera 1 or 2. So when you have a more than 2 camera, when you press C, it will ask, select the camera, then select the camera, press OK. So the view will change accordingly. There's a camera 2 and there's a camera 1. So in the render, click here, it will ask you camera 1 because we already in a camera 1 render. Then you render, go to the art render. It's a common tab is what is the size of the rendering you need? 1920 1080. It is smaller size for the rendering purpose. I just use a smaller space so it will render quick. Then go to the art render. You can see the quality render now. You can see the pixels dots. See, these pixels can avoid when you go to the high quality. If you compare these both, the time will take little more. Now, once you need a final render, you can choose the high quality. If you want to fix your lighting, just let it be the lower quality. It's fine. So still the render is taking time. So the quality you can improve. Now you can see if the pixels are very less. And this is the 1:1 ratio. You can see we totally avoided the pixels. But for fixing the light, of course, draft quality is fine. Now we do the Kelvin over here. It is like if you go for a lesser than this, it's become a red or orange. More, it's a bluish. F9 for render. You can see only the back side. You can see this because it's target light we are selecting. To understand exactly, so the precise option is Select this light, it's a free light. Light parameters, switch off this light. Switch off the shadows. Switch off the light. So these two lights are off. You can see the color. Now render. Only the backlight, a rim light to be exactly. So this Kelvin is not increase or decrease your intensity. It will create only the color. For example, if you switch the parameter, you can see actually it's a temperature. Kelvin is a temperature. So cold and warm, high and low, it's a color theory, isn't it? But this changes the color, not the intensity. You can see warm, cool, white. The colors will change according to the Kelvin. If I put 9000 Kelvin, what is the color? Let's see. Yes, you're right. But how to increase the intensity? I can increase over here intensity tab. So we'll make 5000. Yes. And then you can see this color is bouncing here. So this is the key light. And then select actually it is a rim light, but according to the terms, the higher intensity of the light in the scene is called key light. Now we are selecting real key light to enable this. Don't forget to enable the shadow. Yes, the light without shadow. Sometimes we'll use this. Now, since it's a rim light, it's fine, but it is more than the intensity of the key light. So we have to change it. We'll change. The light, you have to do it trial and error basis. It is not like a trial and error basis. It is like you have to render and check and you have to improvise the light. The first time you click, it's a number, it's a code. You do like this, it will come. No. So light position, intensity, Kelvin, shadow, everything's matter. Now, fill light. As I said, already the fill light, it will come from the bounds. Okay, the fill light intensity is okay, it's fine. Let me render. Too much. So I think the intensity need to be decreased. I think I can delete this light, not necessary. Now go to the material editor, press M. We have this Autodesk material, Autodesk ray trace art. Once you change into the art render, you can see this particular materials enabled. Go here, you have a glass, several things there, but I try to go to the stone. I'm taking blue stones and green stone. And then the ground. Now you check with this. Here, I cannot able to see the texture on top of the stone. The texture is not applying for this because this particular doesn't have any UV. Go to the UV and open your UV editor. You cannot see any UV. Can you see? No UV. So just click the cylindrical projection. You'll get the UV. After cylindrical projection, you can adjust. So the polygon count is very high. So I think my system is hanging. It's better just leave it. Leave it. Come out from this. Then press render. You can see this doesn't have a texture after the UV. Just you find little texture on top of it. Without UV, no texture, only shaders. Go to the F10 for art render, increase the quality, high. Then press render. So here are two things. Photometric light have a real good bounce. Then your material will change according to the render engine. And third thing is you have to work on the camera so that your view never gets spoiled. So stick with the camera when you are render, and then work on the perspective and change your viewport into 2. So those things, guys. We'll improve this more to the next section. Any question, please post me. Also, please watch the part 1. And part 2 is very easy because the bounce light will create the beautiful light. But without bounce light, if you are creating the bounce light by using the standard lights, you understand the benefit of the global illumination and final gather. GI and FG. Okay, guys. Have a good day.